We'll be doing some pluggable things as well. Grace, join those guys. Muzao zanzano ojedwa mwati sogoneza sitting plan. You should be 3-3. So you have to join those guys so that the laws are in 3-3-3, not 4. You are this side, eh? Okay. So that's the main focus. What it takes for someone to become a good note taker, not taking or not making. So that's what we are going to do. Don't memorize what is not making, because even on exams I cannot ask you what is not making, but I'll ask you to do note taking. If you are going to work in an organization, you are not going to be defining people, explaining people the definitions of note taking. Note taking is what you are in the meeting. What we are going to be doing in the meeting is really to take the notes. So what do we need to do for us to develop that capacity or that skill of taking the notes? So that's what we are going to be doing today. If you are not going to successfully do everything that we planned, but at least we can continue exploring these conversations. Okay. Now the first question, the first thing that we are going to study or to discuss is about effective listening. So what is effective listening? And how do someone really develops this capacity of listening effectively? The first question could be, or before we go, there's a quotation. Can someone read the quotation? Who can read loud? Don't do choir, but I want someone who can really read. No? So you guys don't know how to read.
Most people do not listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply.
Is that true? Yes. Most people usually listen with intent to reply, not to understand. This usually happens when someone you are discussing a particular thing, or maybe it's a group discussion. Most of us, usually, when someone is speaking, what we are doing is actually listening to ask a question or to reply, not actually to understand what someone is speaking to us. So that's one of the things that we want to prevent. So when you are listening, you are able to analyze the message. You are able to understand the meaning of the message. If you want to reply, yes, that should be the secondary goal, not primary goal. So, and then if you do that, you are able to listen effectively. So, what is listening? We can start like that. What is listening? Let me ask you question A. Do you guys hear? What are you doing? If you know that you hear, can you raise your hand? I want to see people who are able to hear.
We hear.
You don't hear? You don't hear? You don't hear? Okay. You don't hear? There are some people who can't hear. That's why I'm asking. No? So I only saw 4 people who don't hear in this class. I'm not sure how they are able to cope up with the environment, So that's 98% of this class here. 2% of the class doesn't hear. So what is hearing? Now I need the 98% to answer this question. Okay, should we start with being able to get the information or the message on WhatsApp or how? Before, in the definition, they should not be listening. But the idea is fine, being able to get the message. But then I want the specification of the message. Shadri. Of what? The process of getting the sound. I promise you had another suggestion. Process of paying attention to the sound. That there I can come in. So that's how you have defined hearing. Okay. Mpando Joseph nene sinaikepo mpando. So what is, if hearing is the ability to get the sound. So what is listening? Because these two things are different, eh? Otherwise, if they were same, would have just say listening without bothering to say something about hearing. So what is listening?
It's the process of hearing sound so that can be interpreted and comprehended.
Comprehended. The sound should be comprehended. Okay. Apart from you guys, let's see, this column is very quiet. What is listening? Oh, reading is not answering, my friend. What is listening? So let's okay, maybe Shadri and Promise, you had some suggestions.
Getting the information, understanding what it is now.
You should remove the wording. The definition is fine, but you should remove the wording. So, but it's fine. Okay? Promise? Okay. Okay. So, in simple terms, what Yona said, listening is really an active process of getting the sound, but also being able to find the meaning from the sound. We call it listening. For example, if someone is calling you and you are just hearing someone like is calling you, but you are not sure, we call it hearing, because you don't know the meaning of what you are getting. But once you have realized that someone is calling you, is calling your name. And then we call it listening now. Because the listening, you have to deduce a meaning from the sound. That's why if you are listening to some music and you can't able to find the meaning, you are not listening to the music. You are hearing to the music because there's nothing you are getting from there. Unless there's part of reaction. Maybe your body is, feeling happy. Your body is feeling sad because of the music. We can call it listening, but it's more or less what do you call spiritual listening. Okay, that's why when you are praying and say, "Do you think God is listening to your prayers?" But actually, we said God is hearing your prayers. Eh? I haven't heard someone saying God is hearing your is listening to your prayers. Anyway, some of them would say, but mostly I usually hear people, God is hearing your prayers, but God doesn't hear. God listens. That's why He replied. Otherwise, you cannot reply to something that you are not understanding. Okay, so that's about listening, effective listening. But it takes some steps for someone to develop the capability. So, for example, they said effective listening include attentiveness. If you want to listen, you have to be attentive. The way you are, some of you are really attentive. You are able to understand the meaning of our conversations. You have also to understand the non-verbal body language that complements the oral speech. If the speech, for example, you said, I wasn't understanding the person, but the person was able to speak, but you said, I wasn't really understanding what this person was saying. It's because sometimes the person was trying to convey a sad message, but this person was laughing at the same time. You see? And then I wasn't actually understanding what he was trying to say because he was saying sad thing, but he was actually looking happy at the same time. Asking questions to clarify understanding. People who usually listen, they ask questions. If you listen effectively, you have to ask questions. Not always asking me the questions if it is a classroom like this, but also asking yourself, are you able to understand? Asking, what is this? Trying to process the thoughts. But if you are there and sponging the sound, just sponging, without asking yourself or processing thoughts, you are just hearing. You are in class, but just hearing someone, a guruba, like you don't even know what is happening, because you are sponging the information. That's why most of us, after class, and then someone asks you, what were you actually studying today? No, I just remember somewhere. eh? So because you don't have, that capability to process thoughts, process questions, to formulate ideas as someone is speaking. Some of you are Christians. Really, I don't know if you have born again in this class, but some of you are really committed Christians. Some of you are really committed Muslims, and some of you are really dedicated Baha'is. You belong to your religion. Every Sunday for Christians and Saturday, there are some prayers, devotions. And there's this guy or this person called a prophet or a pastor or a bishop who actually shares the gospel to yeah. In English, what can we call it? To the sheep.
Those sheep.
Eh? Because the literal translation of Nkosa is sheep, Yeah, but anyway, to the followers, the congregates. For Muslims, every Friday there's devotion services. There's this person called Sheikh who shares the gospel from the Quran. And then there are people who are actually listening to the gospel. But then the question would be, if you are coming out of the mosque or out of from the church, can you relay back the message? To relay back the message is to explain again the message, you know. If someone asks you, what was the gospel for today's service, you are able to say it, you know. Oh, it's about ABCD, you know, I mentioned about this, you know, I had these questions, but you know, you are able to relay back the message. It's going where? Oh, this thing. Yeah, you should accept that.
Go there, there.
It's fine if it's blocking your view. It should actually. I know this thing, eh? So I don't know. It's blocking you now, eh? It's blocking you, eh? Okay. Then this guy will come this side. Wow. Very fine. No, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. So, are you able to see now? Okay. Just make sure when you are going out, you should going smoothly. Should walk smoothly. So that's what I was trying to say. Are you able to relay back the message? Because one measurement of effective listening is when the audience is able to relay back the message. The other thing is about avoid judging, non-judgment. Longezo, can you stay away from the phone? No, you have to write in the Excel book. So, in terms of non-judgment, it means when someone is speaking, most of us we end up judging. You know, we judge what. Yeah, come on, because you had already said that you come late. So, when someone is speaking, most of us we end up judging, which we call psychologically we call it selective listening. You select what you want to listen according to the background of the speaker. So you the same thing, you don't listen. Even in this class, sometimes I have noticed when someone is sharing, some of you don't actually listen because maybe when someone is sharing, you are able to concentrate and listen what that person is saying. So when you are becoming judgmental, or I have to listen this part, I can't listen this part, I have to listen this part. Sometimes it's based maybe your values, ethics, and whatever, but that fails you to understand the message. A good example would be, but this example is so complicated, but I might just share. Most of you don't have experience about it, but let me say there is a person who hasn't studied business administration, but this person has experience maybe from somewhere about administering a business or managing a business, and then this person is trying to share with you something, an experience about business administration. And you know yourself that you have done business administration. The way your mind is going to really think about the message that this person is saying will be different, because you say, this person doesn't know much about business, compared maybe to me or to someone. So your mind, quickly switch to some other things. I can't actually listen to this guy. But if someone that you think has good experience about business administration, maybe you know the person or whatever, you are going actually to listen effectively. So for you to begin to listen effectively, you have to avoid this situation. You just have to listen to everyone. Sometimes people that we underestimate are the people who can actually help you, who can actually share with you important information than what you expected. I have seen these things really happening. The last one, avoid distractions during conversation. And this one is the most crucial skill that this modern generation should develop because of the phones. For you, if you want to effectively listen, you have to stay away from the phone. Because the moment you are on the phone during the conversation, and for example, you are having conversation with me or in this class, and maybe some 3 minutes we are on phone, if I ask you to repeat what I said in that 3 minutes, you are not going to relay back what I said. Or you are going to explain something opposite to what I was trying to share. And it's actually a small number of people in the world who can concentrate, maybe they're on phone, really typing messages, and they're also thinking what they're hearing. It's rare. So that's why it becomes like a secondary school when we are saying, okay, stay away from the phones, because what we have in our perception is that I know when you are in the university, you can do whatever you want to do. You can be on the phone. Why? It's your phone, man. And there's technology. We have to associate with our phones. Yes, it's okay, but then are you able to listen effectively? So to make sure that when we are actually marking the exams, you say this person was really, listening. Maybe there's a problem why this person has failed. At least we can consider you. But I know that the person was always on the phone and this person has failed. Why should I consider this person? It's better, no, yeah, I should learn a lesson from that. Now there's an exercise that we are going to do. And at the beginning of the class, I think before even starting the class, I said, if you don't have a pencil, or not a pencil, I mean, a bobbin and a lighting tool like an exercise book, you have to find it, because there's no skipping about this exercise. So the exercise that is here has a purpose. It's not just to merely for you guys just to merely light it. I have to repeat it. No, we have just finished discussing about effective listening. Okay, now I want you guys to observe yourself, because I cannot observe you guys. I cannot observe when maybe I'm saying some of the messages you are able to relay back. Okay. So the aim of this exercise is to help you observe what it takes for someone to begin listening effectively. There are no instructions. I'll explain something, a subject, and then from this subject, to trace if you have understood what I'll be saying, you are being asked to summarize what you have gained from my sharing in at least 50 words. If you are going to write a few words like 26, 30, you will have problems with the next exercises that are coming. So I would ask you to, summarize as much as possible, so that you have an advantage in the coming exercises. So compare what you have summarized from what I will say with a friend. That's why I was putting you guys in 2-2 so that you can share with the friend. So if you are in 3 and then you 3, you are going to compare what each one of you has summarized. And then we'll try to share also with the large group. So I might select some few of you. No matter how many hours or minutes this exercise is going to take us, but it's very important than for us just to be speaking, oh, effective reading, effective listening, and then you go. Yeah. After I'll be saying things, but anyway, I was since in the morning, I was trying to think of a subject that I can share, something or a concept, but I really struggled to find one. But then I'm suggesting one subject that I can say it's about civilization. So I will share. I will be just sharing. It will not be very structured, very nice or one, but I'll be just explaining, and you see what you want to get from that, from my sharing. Okay. It is yeah, but I want you guys to be able to listen to what I'm saying and be able to make some summary notes. So don't say exactly what I've said, but you can summarize in your own ways. But your summary should reflect what I'm actually saying. So when you are coming to class, you come without an exercise book. No, this is a very serious issue. When you are coming to class, you have to take an exercise book. No, this is not a chatting room. It's a serious room. Okay, so I'm studying. I'll be just explaining, and you see what you want to capture from my. So what I'm sharing is about civilization. This is the main focus of my sharing about civilization. There's a quite range of definitions regarding to this concept of civilization. For example, when you go in the dictionary on internet, they are going to say civilization is a modern way of living. That's how people define civilization. It's true, because when you are saying modern way of living, you are thinking of infrastructures, you are talking about maybe the kind of education, quality education that is there. You are talking about health services, no? So when people have really embraced a new way of living, they call it civilization. When a society has all these features that I'm saying, they say this is civilized community. But now let's think deeply about this definition. If a community or a society has all these roads, beautiful roads, some of you had a chance maybe visiting other countries, or maybe you see in the movies or wherever you have seen really the kind of roads, the kind of buildings they have, the kind of universities they have, and we call it, these are civilized countries. But the question would be, imagine you have all these things, but then there's war in this society where the buildings, there's conflict, there's inequality among people. Some people are living in extreme poverty, and some people are living in extreme wealth. Can we call this civilization? No, we cannot call it civilization. Because for civilization to take full grasp, it has to embrace 2 dimensions. The first dimension is physical or material development. And the second one is spiritual development. And then we call this is the civilization. That's why some people would come to Malawi and say, oh, Malawi is a good country, but we don't have the roads they have in their countries. Why? Because of lacking the second dimension of civilization, which is spiritual civilization or spiritual development. So what is spiritual development? As I said, I was giving examples of religions. Some of you are Muslims, Christians, and Baha'is, or maybe you have someone who belongs to Hindu here. But spiritual development is not about evolution of religion. It's about the quality that is characterizing the interaction of people in a society. So is there justice in the society? Is there generosity? Is there unity, cooperation? Is there harmony? No? Is there peace, kindness, caring? All these are indicators or features of spiritual development. So if you are talking about civilization, we should define it as a process where a society has developed materially and spiritually to enhance better living conditions of the citizens. The physical development is well noticeable because when you see 1,000 years when Moses was on this earth, and now we cannot say that one was civilized comparing to this one, okay? Because there are no roads like this ones. But even in his time, when Moses was alive, Moses was comparing the time Abraham was on this earth and said, I think we are more civilized than the Abraham generation. And then Abraham was saying, the Noah's generation wasn't civilized. You know, the guys were just relying on, no, they had their own things that they were comparing. So it's how you can define actually civilization. Now, compare what we have summarized or relay back from what I was saying with a friend. At the end, I want you to borrow the pen. Borrow me the pen. At the end. No, you will try. You got the second one. On the first one. Oh no, you have to bring a paper like this one. Or papers like this one. Yeah. One visit. All right. Now you have managed to compare the things you have summarized. Attention, please. It's time. Now I'll ask at least 4 people to share what they summarized randomly. Me. All right. So let's start with Innocent. You read what you have summarized. Okay, quiet please, so that we can listen to what is shared. Guys, stay quiet.
In the modern world we live in, people think having most hospitals is things like you can have all those things, but if they go in the country, the government is civilized, a process where a society has developed spiritually and social. Therefore, that country cannot be recognized as a civilized country.
Where is your texting? So why are you reading something that is not yours? Oh, when I was speaking, everyone was listening. You don't have one common eye, ear. You have your ears and he has his own ears. So you are not saying we are summarizing on one page while everyone was supposed to do. Can you read what you wrote? Actually.
Civilization is the modern way of living, e.g., having roads, buildings. Civilization can be damaged because of wars, shortage of money to boost the economy.
Guys, listen.
Cares of the special government, e.g., justice. If there is no justice, things can go wrong in the country. Unity, the country must come together to perform some taxes and kindness, cooperation. This may help the country and they can boost the country.
You are failing to read your own handwriting. What you have shared is actually important. Of course, you have exaggerated things that I didn't say, like shortage of money. I didn't say something about that. But you have summarized important points. I'm wondering why you are actually feeling you're not feeling confident about your own way. Okay, thank you, Innocent. Let's hear from Lonje. Read what you have summarized. Guys, let's listen.
Civilization is a modern way of living. For example, in the country,
Read.
they have,
Read what you have summarized. Yeah.
for example, we can have hospitals, schools. We can also develop spiritual development of people. That's what I mean.
You have added things. Okay. Now who should do? Why are you closing? Okay, let's hear from Blessings. Come on back.
Is a modern way of living or a new way of living, and it's divided into two, which is physical development and spiritual development. Physical development uh, is like physical development includes infrastructure buildings, modern roads, or spiritual development includes justice, unity, cooperation, and kindness. And also spiritual development is further as a corridor characteristics of interactions with people in a society. If a society is only developed physically, it's not recognized as a civilized society.
Mhm. Let's choose one. Yeah, one last person now to close. Let's hear from Labega. Yeah. You are? You are?
I'd like to see
Sing.
voice very low.
Okay. Okay. So you can give what you have summarized to. You will read blessings.
Okay. Civilization is the modern way of living. This includes infrastructure, education, and the efficiencies, and these are physical development. But civilization to take full plastic, it has two dimensions. That is physical and the physical or material development and the spiritual development. If a country is fully physically developed but lacks spiritual development in a society such as kindness,
Blessings, stop. Why are you reading? Why are you reading somewhere? Why we have asked you to read somewhere? Hmm? You are doing nonsense stuff, my friend. Okay, let's continue. Verb skills. Anyway, what you have shared, I know you are trying to save your sister, but there is a lady ink that is coming, so you cannot glide away from that. Anyway, what you have actually summarized is, yeah, it's a good start actually, and I believe as you are continuing doing this often, you become good at it. Okay, so even if it's a statement or yeah, if it is actually 26 words above, it's a good summary. Yeah, but avoid also putting something that the speaker didn't say. Otherwise, you can have problems with it. Because imagine you are discussing about contracts, and then you have added, let's say, we'll buy 2 cars, but maybe in the contract, the one who was speaking or explaining about the contract agreements or conditions didn't say about 2 cars. What will happen later? Or you said about 2 cars, but this person didn't say about what? 2 cars. So when you are listening effectively and you are trying to summarize what this person has said, summarize the actual things this person said in your own words, of course. Now the speaking verbal skills. This one is I will say this very briefly. So to pursue effective verbal communication, one should consider the following CCs. 7 C's. Some of you, you enjoyed this song called Standard 7C. So yeah, in exams you can just remembering that song, and then you'll be able to come up with good answers. I'm just joking, yeah, but I know some of you enjoyed it. So the 7 C's include clear, concise, complete, correct, concentrate, courtesy, and candid. Clear, concise, complete, correct, concentrate, courtesy, and candid are the 7 C's that when you are speaking, you should cautiously think about them if they are really coming out. So to speak effectively doesn't mean that you have to do A, B, C, D or one. It's just to be cautious of how you are sharing the information. In your information, is the information clear? Is the information concise? Is the message concise? The message complete? Is it correct? Is it concrete? Is it courteous? Is it candid? So I'll briefly just explain some of this. To be clear, in the notes you might see some of them I have included. There are some explanatory notes for this. Clear means what you are saying is clear. In short, if you are saying something to someone, will the one hearing what you are saying or listening what you are saying will be clarified? Is the message clarifying the ideas? So when you are speaking, you should be able to be clear. And sometimes to be clear, it means the ideas are logically flowing. And just imagine someone wants to share his experience or her experience about the weekend, the going weekend. There were a lot of things happening. This person, okay, I went to the stadium where Blitz was playing against Red Arrows. And then I met, my friend at the show at BICC where your mom was performing. But then, yeah, when I was there was a pastor who was really preaching well in the church. I enjoyed the church services. And of course, we had just cooked rice with stewed meat and what, these are all the things that have happened in the weekend, eh? But the ideas are not what? Logic. So it's not clear what this person is trying to say. No matter how good things or important points a mad person can say, they're not clear. Sometimes they can say things that are really important, but because the logic is not there, that's why I say this person is mad. And for some of you who enjoys, you want me to mention your name? Okay. For some of you who enjoy, doing what when you have, drink that water, special water, you and the way you start to speak, it doesn't become clear because of the lack of logic. So to be clear, you need to train yourself how to speak in a logic order. The ideas should be in a sequence. Okay. Concise means the message is short and stupid. To be short and stupid, it means it's less. For example, a sentence is shortened. Instead of, let's say, a message being long, or an idea, putting an idea or in length, you shorten the idea and you explain it, and then we call it short and stupid. Stupid, the same stupid. When your uncle is angry, he says stupid, eh? The same stupid. But then this stupid is coming there. There's an idea why they call it stupid, eh? Yeah, but don't tell your father, I know your ideas are not short and stupid. Can you just explain in stupid way? And then you are going to cause a lot of problems, eh? Yeah, but that's it. So when you are speaking, make sure that you are in that way. You are not saying prolonging ideas, we call it, particularly we call it verbal diarrhea. When someone is just, explaining things, we call it verbal diarrhea. So you should be able to shorten your message. When the message is very long, people get distracted. They cannot, follow each idea, continually. So they become really distracted about the message. So that's why we usually advise people to maintain that way of speaking, to be concise. Yeah.
As usual. So if you know that this is your semester na Yesu na pressing. Please.
You are
think so.
All right. Okay, so let's continue. So apart from concise, then there's complete. Complete means your message should answer the 5 W's. Okay? Or the 5 questions. And then we have these 5 W's. 1 W means for when, what, how, who, no, why. How is the 1 H. 5 W's and 1 H. And which as well. Okay? So there are some of you when someone is asking you questions like, so where are you going? You say, I'm going somewhere. To do what? You know? I had to do something. With who? I with someone. When are you coming back? I will see. Why are you going there? There are a lot of leaders. You don't need to hear them, you know. So anyway, this is in normal conversation. There are a lot of pastors in this class now. Stop preaching. They're waiting for you to finish. So when you are trying to engage in when you are trying to explain things orally, you are trying to speak, you should think about if what you are saying is really answering all the 5 questions, and of course all the 6 questions, I mean, but particularly with important messages like in business setup. And then collect is the message collect, because if the message is long and then it changes the credibility of the speaker. Like for example, when I said people should read their summary, some were taking people's way and other people's way. That is part of destroying your credibility. No. So is the information correct one? Is it coming from reliable sources? And then of course I'll jump the 2. I'll talk about candid. Candid is it's an approach of speaking that is straightforward. And how many mango young who are like, okay, it doesn't matter, but this is what I want to say. So indeed, when you have chosen a candid approach of speaking, you have also to make sure that what you are saying is not offending people's values and ethics as well. But there is also a degree of discipline and respect. So you should be able to balance that. So you can further read some of these explanatory notes on each of the C. So how can someone develop the verbal skills or speaking skills? 1, continuous learning. Commit to lifelong learning by reading books, attending workshops, and seeking feedback from trusted mentors. If you don't know how to read, particularly every one of us knows how to read, but we don't read, most of us. And that limits the range of vocabulary we can use in when speaking. What you know is what you are hearing in your community or from your friends. You don't have an extended range of vocabulary, so it becomes difficult. But once you are able to read books, you are reading books, your knowledge the vocabulary that you benefit from that increases. Therefore, you can speak well if you also read. That's why Muzabane says antu ambili amene they speak bwino bwino, even in public. They have knowledge about things. If you don't have knowledge about something, what do you speak? Redundance. Because you only have one point and you have to convince people, but you only have